So, guys, it's gonna be a little bit different. So, I am cooking, and so I am going to. Holy moly, that's wild! I am cooking, so you get to be here as I cook my meal. So, like, I eat a decent amount, but like, I don't eat nearly as much as I probably should eat. As I probably should eat, but I'm gonna eat something, I guess, and cook some food and make a decent meal is what I'm at least going to do. I am not the best cook, but I am a cook that I am good at making stuff I like. Which again, if I make stuff I like, I mean, what else matters besides make cooking what you like, right? And so I make stuff I like, so I cannot complain. And so in this case, I'll be cooking burgers, and so I tend to eat like not a lot throughout the day. Hey, how's it going? If you're on, leave me a comment. Tell me how your day's going. I am cooking food today. I thought I'd switch it up. So normally cigars is everything else, but yeah, I'm just gonna cook food because what goes better with a cigar than an amazing burger? Which for me personally, when I get my burgers, I like to go with 80% lean, 20% fat, because the flavor's better. I know like you could go leaner, but whatever, I don't care. And also for the egg, that binds it, I like to just use an egg yolk. So I get rid of the white and I just use an egg yolk because I like the way it binds better and it seems to taste better. So that's what I go with. And that's what I tend to go with as I cook this. And oh, there we go. Got my Worcestershire. Worcestershire. How do you say Worcestershire? Hey man, you're a chef. Awesome, man. If you're a chef, sir, as you do this, please feel free to give me some tips and everything. So I'm cooking. So here's my thing. I've got 2 egg yolks, some Worcestershire sauce, and my game plan: salt and pepper. I'm going to put in a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, get it all together, blend it up, and then I'm going to get these burgers frying and everything else. So I was thinking about I was gonna do a cigar thing, but I'll be honest, like I'm starving. I have not eaten much today, and so I'm give me a second, I'll be right back. Have not eaten much today, and so as they say, all right, I'm back. So as they say, hey, if you're hopping on, say hi, give me a comment, give me a like, everything else. I appreciate the likes, it pushes the video, so thank you much. So feel free to judge me and everything else, but so I am gonna pop in some garlic powder here. It sounds good, sweet. What kind of your chef? What kind of food do you cook? Do you have a specialty? Do you have a certain restaurant you work at? Is there something you love to make? All right, and something onion powder is always messed up. So let's beat this in submission, as we do. But so something I probably I posted this today. I am exhausted, and so I thought when I talk about thank you likes, when I talk about everything I talk about being driven, having tenacity, doing everything, having fun. I figure, you know what? Like, let me, even though I'm not feeling great, let me do it live just because I feel it's good to do it for you guys. And plus, I'm kind of practicing when I'm preaching, which I don't feel amazing. I kind of want to go straight to bed, everything else. And this way, I'll like mold this. This way, I can just kind of be relaxed and just be candid, chat with you guys as I'm making this. But, so, love cigars. Pardon me, I'm doing a live over here. Love cigars. What cigar are you currently smoking? What's your go-to cigar at the moment? I have tried several. There's one. It's a Fuente. A Fuente. It's a cheap cigar. It's a curly head. That's so funny. Well, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Much love, brother. I appreciate it. Much love, brother. Hopefully, my date tomorrow will feel the same way. We will find out. Um, Let me see. Did I lose live? It's still live. Something went wrong. We'll see. I don't know. Parntrist, I'm doing a live over here. But, so I can't tell. So, guys, are you still on? Give me a like if you can still see me because the comments are gone on my end. So, if you can still see me, give me a like. Somebody like it. Let's see if it updates. There we go. Sweet. What's up, man? Hey, so what's up, brother? I saw you last time, did I, man? So I said I'm not smoking cigars, but like one of my loves is cooking. I love baking. I love cooking. Love cooking. It's amazing. I don't really bake. I come from a family of bakers, and so basically, when I was a kid, believe it or not, I used to be a fat kid. I used to be a really really fat kid, and so was a fat kid. Story time. When I was a fat kid, I had a friend who was in really, really good shape. And dude's name was Jason. Jason was jacked. He worked out all the time. The girls loved him. The ladies loved him. And so we had a big old birthday party one time. Yeah, cooking's awesome, man. Big old birthday one time when we were like 14. And it's, it was like 20 boys together. So we had a wrestling match, a King of the Hill wrestling match to see who would win. So of course, yours truly went through, and being strong as an ox, I went through and I destroyed absolutely everyone. So finally, the last two people in the match were me and Jason. And so me and Jason, there we go. Yes, I am religious. Yes, I am a Christian. I am religious. If you notice my videos, I talk about my relationship with Christ. That's why you see I talk so much about Fyodor Dostoevsky, is because Fyodor Dostoevsky is a religious author. He writes about Christianity all the time, and reading his work is largely what made me go back to church and what made me become a Christian and actually say I have a relationship with Christ. If you have different views, I respect that, I understand, but for me personally, I think that's the way for me, and so my tenacity and drive and everything like that, I can say it's all me, but in the end, like every day I have to say my prayer, which is, Lord, bless my day, bless my ability, let me honor you with everything I think I say, I do, and let me do everything for your glory, and that's always been my little prayer for the past, 6, 7, 8 years of my life. I say it every day, and I don't know where it came from. I start saying it, and I say it every day. And if you're not religious, that's fine. And if you are, it's wonderful. I think Jesus is the way. That is for me. That's for me. But I understand people are from all over the world. People have different experiences, different stuff. That's me. That's me. So I grew up very, very involved in the church. First job. Let me answer in 1 second. I was going to say, I grew up, in 1 second I'll answer that. I grew up super involved in the church, and so I didn't really would call myself a Christian until I actually got away from the church a bit and ended up coming back to a different group, which is amazing. But back to what I was saying to you. So first job and happy financially. So guys, you're not going to believe this. First job was baling hay. So no kidding, guys. Baling hay. And I'm serious. So when I was a teenager, one of my friends called me, and he was like, hey, Chris, we're going to get paid, like, I think it was back in the day, like $7 an hour to bale hay. And so if you ever baled hay, this is back in Virginia, you would go and you sit in the back of a tractor, and they have like a big trailer, flatbed trailer on the back, right? And so it bales hay, hops into bales. When you bale hay, you have to use your knee, and you pop it up into the stacks. And so, believe it or not, because again, I was an athlete back then too, after I had finished my fat kid started working out, after my Jason experience. But back to what I was saying, so I started baling hay all the time. And so on the back of the tractor bed, I would have played the push-up game with my friend Sam, who would I'd bale hay with, and we'd play the push-up game. And in between baling stacks of hay, we would see how many push-ups we could bust out. And the farmer was like, I remember, because we didn't have a driver's license, we were like 14, 15, when his mom came to pick us up, he would, your boys are crazy. That Chris, he is busting out push-ups in between baling hay. What is wrong with these people? Yeah, man. I am definitely an old soul. I am 1000% old soul. I am a Texas boy. I am a different state, but I'm a Texas boy. I grew up in between Virginia and Texas, and I grew up reading literature. I grew up working hard. Again, for me, I thought I wasn't the hardest working guy when I was a kid, but in retrospect, I realized I was a really hardworking guy. I started working, all the time, just random stuff. I remember one of my first experiences, because I was a really shy kid. I was actually terrified of people. My first experiences with sales or making money or dealing with people was we had coupon books for, I believe it was my basketball team when I was 12 or 13. And so I was told that I needed to sell something like 20 coupon books. And so I was terrified of people. And so I went door to door. And would knock neighbors' doors. And just stand there shaking and be like, coupon book, can you buy coupon? And finally what happened was, which also taught me about people, I learned that instead of trying to sell anyone, if I just went to the door, knocked on it, and I was just a kid, and I was just like, you want to buy a coupon book for me for my team? Like, anyway, man, like, they would buy it from me. It was great. I loved it. So it actually worked out really well in my favor. But that's my first experience. I didn't do amazing. But for me, my sport that I played in high school was I was homeschooled. But we had a homeschool basketball team, and so not because I really loved basketball, but I played basketball because it was what was available, and I made a lot of friends from it. And a lot of my friends I made really good. And so back to the old soul story. I'm also happy financially. So a little bit about me. So from there, I played basketball and I enjoyed it. And what I really enjoyed though was the fact I bonded with these guys. I felt like I had a brotherhood, a camaraderie with these guys. I really looked up to my peers. And so I had guys on my team who were like, they're big, grown 17, 18-year-olds. And I looked up to them. I wanted to be more like them. And for me, I grew up without a strong father figure in my life. And so seeing what I saw were like big brothers to me who were out doing great things, who were out getting, college scholarships or chasing their dreams or whatever degree it was and doing big things. That was really inspirational to me. And so I remember specifically there was a guy who would drive me to basketball every day, a guy named Drew. And Drew was like the most charming guy you ever met. Like Drew, everywhere went, and thank you so much, Likes, I appreciate it. Everywhere he went, he had like trails of women just following him around, like ladies following him around. It was crazy. He always had the hottest girlfriend. He was like this ridiculously good looking guy, ridiculously charming, all this stuff. The guy still is, everything else was whatever. And I realized, I was like, I am not charming like Drew is. And I remember one day me and Drew were driving, and I was really annoying. Like I talked like this all the time, and I was really annoying this teenager. And one day I was like, Drew, I am not as cool as you, dude. Like how, and thank you for likes, I appreciate it. I was like, I am not as cool as you. Like how do I become charming like you? How do I do that? And he was like, bro, you just gotta play it cool. You play it cool, man. You just gotta play it cool. And so, and Drew was kind of like, he was for a little bit, he was kind of like my mentor in how to like present myself and like learn to dress well and everything else. And he would give me a hard time about everything I wore, and like it was really interesting dynamic. And to this day, whenever I every so often will see Drew on those Instagram stories, whatever, he always has some like ridiculously beautiful woman with him, or he's traveling the world, or he's in Italy randomly, or Spain, and there's some like model next to him, and you find out this girl is with some model, but whatever. Life's not all about that. But it's just like the guy is just like, holy crap, this guy is so charming. It's nuts. And so, yeah, it's wild. But yeah, so as far as like in my comfort financially, so like I'm not where I want to be at the moment, but I am doing fine. So I started my first business when I was like 17 or 18 years old. Basically, my home life was very rough, and so I was always looking to get out, being that I just grew up in such a rough household, and my parents were just all over the place, cluster B, abusive. My mom was real abusive, so my mom would be fine one day, and then randomly she'd just go off the rails and just like beat me and stuff like that. And so I was ready to get out, and so karate coincidentally was my way to get out, and so that's why I did karate. It was because my next door neighbor was he actually had a franchise of martial arts schools, and as a teenager I started getting in shape and everything. I used to be a fat kid, so I would run like between like 5 and 10 miles daily, like every day, and I would work out constantly. You'd see me out. I had a log in the backyard, and I would pick up this log. I would do press-ups with the with a log. Like how cool is that? Like Tim Tebow style, right? I would do press-ups with the log in the backyard, and I would run uphill sprints up and down the road all the time. I would have there's this big, it's in Virginia, so like the hills are huge, right? And so I would do uphill sprints all the time. And then we get snow in Virginia, and when it snowed, I would throw on a pair of snow boots or whatever the hell, and I would run like 5 or 6 miles in the snow, or 3 miles, whatever it may have been, in the snow. And then one day I remember we had our coldest day in Virginia in years, and it was like freaking, God, it was like it was -7 degrees, and so I threw my crap. I went running in -7 until my whole face was numb and everything else. Just to say, I ran 3 miles in -7 degrees. So like that's when I have like all my stories about being a little bit intense, a little bit hardcore. Like I've always been this way. It's just my personality. I have an incredibly intense personality in many ways, and so I try to channel it in healthy ways, so I'm not necessarily putting all my intensity on people, because it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I try to put that into, like, at the moment, like I'm training for an Ironman or running marathons. So yeah, when I started my first business inside of a hotel meeting room, I started it, and coincidentally I thought, karate school. I have a karate school. I also do like some business consulting as well. karate schools and business consulting, business coaching, a lot of like staff development, training. People hire me to go train their staff and like fly me out for a weekend or whatever to go train their staff for a day. Marketing, that's kind of my thing. I'm known for is I'm a really, really good marketer. So I'm really good. Probably gonna wash my hands real fast. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna skip that. I'm a really, really good marketer, and so I am. That's kind of my claim to fame in my industry. And so I also do my art as well. So I have a school back in Virginia. I'm a co-owner in, and so nothing crazy, but I'm co-owner. And then I have a school down here where I run it down here. I just rock it out and have an amazing team and just love it. It's beautiful, and just rock it out. And so that's what I've done. I've been in the martial arts industry forever, and so my real passion. So I love martial arts. I'm very passionate about it, but my real passion from it is because I love people. I love people. I love coaching people. I love telling people. I love telling stories. The way I am, I'm a creative naturally, and so something. If you're a creative person, you have to understand, like, and that could be creativity, whether it's cooking, that could be cigars, that could be painting, drawing, words, literature, whatever it may be, poems. If you're a creative person, it's like all the time you have a feeling that you must get it out at all times. That's partly why I love YouTube so much, because it can be my special creative outlet where I can have those 2 hours in the morning or at night, whatever it is, where I can just go hardcore, be creative, have fun, connect with you guys. I love it. And also for me, I do a lot of public speaking, so it helps me as well in my, and as I see it, in my work as well, just kind of seeing how I act, my body language, everything else. But also more importantly, I love, how's it going, brother? Good to see you, man. I love connecting with you guys. It's been so incredible, amazing. I've been loving hearing your stories and everything else. It's so cool, and just it's just so beautiful to connect with people over the internet and everything else. So I just love YouTube. It's just so much fun. I love it. But as far as style, I did multiple styles. So black belt taekwondo, aikido, not black belt, but rank in aikido, kung fu, karate, boxing, Krav Maga. I have a black belt in Krav Maga. Black belt in taekwondo, multiple degrees in karate. So it's we call it American freestyle karate. It's a mixed traditional martial art. So it's kind of taking the best of both worlds and melding it in. But trained a lot with like professional fighters, professional boxers, trained with the Gracie brothers, trained with a bunch of UFC fighters. I'm not trying to sound conceited. I just have, just coincidentally. And so it's really for me, it's allowed me to be so connected and know so many people. And basically, from the martial arts, because it's a small world, I have a good reputation. I basically have friends anywhere in the country. And because of it, and the network, like anywhere I go, I have amazing friends who are so damn cool. I can go see at any moment. And so for me, I've been focused on my work. But like the real beauty of martial arts is it's amazing because you can defend yourself and everything else. It's great, but it's amazing because the people, the relationships you make along the way. That's really what makes it amazing. Yeah, Taekwondo is a lot of fun. I've not done that in a while. I've done like I've been introduced to it. I can't really tell you anything about it, and if I tried to, you'd tell I was I'd be making up, so that wouldn't be right. But I know karate. I know like boxing, kickboxing, stuff like that, MMA. Things of that nature is what I'm familiar with. And for me though, for me, what I love from it is like the martial arts. I really love using it as a conduit to teach life skills and character development. And so, like I was talking with the instructor today about like one of our students and the kid when he first came in, like not too long ago, like he was doing this number and just like he shook his hand like that, and kind of like when we look in the eye, the way shy people look, where it's like kind of the weird side eye stuff like that. And he was doing that number, and within a few months, he is loud. He is leading. He's like a 10-year-old kid, and he is teaching the class for me. He's leading the class. I was telling him like, "Hey, go take care of that new student," stuff like that, and it's incredible. And so for me, that's why I love martial arts so much because it's really an amazing character development program. And I know for me, like I was the shyest kid. I was the most insecure kid. I was the angriest kid. I was just on the path to destruction in every avenue of my life in so many ways as a child and a teenager. And I can say martial arts taught me work, taught me grit, taught me tenacity, taught me to do my best. The biggest thing it taught me though is that if I did my best, I would be successful in things I put my mind to, and that in itself is super, super, super powerful. And once you learn that lesson, it makes your life so much easier. Well, not necessarily easier, but it makes it so much more clear for the path forward, and makes your life so much better because you know that even if you have hard times, whatever it is, like even like today, like I was not feeling great all day, stuff like that. I knew that if I did my best, I would still get an amazing return. I get to help people, everything else. So that's amazing, and so that's where it's kind of like the tenacity. Um, Have I ever heard of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I am one. I am one. This is me outside my costume, buddy. I'm being facetious, but oh yeah, I definitely love it. Definitely just want to check out the new movie. Not gonna lie, I love the old ones from the '90s. I used to watch as a kid, and as an adult, every so often, I'll watch a clip. Hey, what's up, brother? I'm glad you're on today. How are you, man? Good to see you, brother. But yeah, every so often I will watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And also, as a kid, I really loved, they have some amazing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video games that I remember. I just adored when I was a kid for a minute. That and like the Dragon Ball Z video games. I remember I was like, it's so good, it's so cool. So I love that stuff growing up. And I still love it now, but like I still, and honestly, like, so I kind of, honestly, when I watch like so I don't watch a lot of movies anymore, but when I do watch a martial arts movie, I seem to find myself going to. Was it good? I was wanting to see the animation's cool. I liked the Spider Verse animation style a lot. Like I don't want generally when I watch a movie, it tends to be like on an airplane or something. I really actually am invested in the movie. And coincidentally, I watched the Spider Verse movie when I was on a 3 hour flight. I think it was like to San Diego. I think. And it was just great. Yeah, the '90s ones are outstanding. Like the arcade ones. If you ever go to like an arcade bar and you play on the arcade machine or something like that, way too much fun. And so it's kind of the thing. Like as a kid, I remember doing it, and I just loved it. San Diego, just hanging out. I just so I have so something I did when I had my school, my first school in Virginia. It's a lot of fun to run a martial arts school, but the work is very tiring and it takes a lot of energy. And so the trick to not burning out is you have to take trips. You have to have something to relax, to just change scenery. So for me, I think changing your environment changes so much in your perspective. And so, like, if you are down, if you're depressed, if you have the means, the ability, if you can go and just get to a different place for a weekend even, it's super, super powerful. And so if you have the ability to just go, take a trip for like 3 days, even if it's like 3 hours away, whatever it may be, it's 1,000% worth it. I highly recommend it. And so for me, because of having a business, you have lots of like business credit cards and stuff like that. Um, um, I'll answer the question in 1 second, Obama. Back to what I was saying though, if you are feeling down, if you can change your environment, it's really powerful. Like for me though, like I'm doing well, but I'm planning to have a trip just to get away for a few days, go see some close friends, and just change my scenery, and be just grateful for living life. Thank you for the life, guys. You're amazing. So cigar questions. So I'm going to start that by saying I am not a medical professional. I am not a doctor. So what I say, you have to understand, take it with a grain of salt, and I can't give you health advice. But I will say this. My experience is cigars do not affect my cardio whatsoever. In fact, I will say, like, I ran today at like a 7:20 pace for like 5-6 miles, something like that, which like is not even my best, but still like it's. Pardon me, guys, wash my hands. But still, it's yeah. I would not. Can you hear me? I would not say cigars affect my cardio, and so I love cigars, but I do consume them in moderation. And now the caveat you have to understand is I don't have other vices besides that, like health vices like that. So I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I eat very limited sugar. I don't eat like a ton of junk food. I eat a little bit. But for the most part, like I'm very healthy, and so that's the thing. Like when I've seen my doctor, they've always tell me, my doctors, thank you, I appreciate that. My doctor has told me like I am exceptionally healthy. Like they tell me like, so actually I have a heart defect. So I have a heart defect. So my pulse goes opposite of normal because I was born with it. It's maybe it's Eastern European heritage, but I have a heart defect. And so with that being said, my heart does not pump blood like normal people's hearts. And so my doctor, my cardiologist, they said the same thing. They're like, dude, you have nuts genetics. Like they're telling me like so I have inclinations for like, I get panic attacks on occasion. It's something that my parents struggle with, my grandparents struggle with. Both my grandfathers had multiple heart attacks each and still lived to be 90 something. both smoked cigs, smoked cigars, everything else. Worked in coal mines and factories and stuff like that. And basically, just my doctors told me is like you have insane genetics, and genetics. This is not genetics. I just train really hard. I train hard. But besides that, my doctors told me I have really good genetics, and so I can just handle more than a lot of people. So, for example, a triple Maduro cigar is generally considered to be a super heavy full body cigar, and they say to smoke the cigar on a full belly after a big meal, otherwise you're gonna be sick out of your mind. Like I will go and smoke one. Hey, appreciate it, brother. I am keeping it up. I'll go and smoke a triple Maduro on an empty stomach with a cup of coffee, and I'll smoke it till it's that. And we're talking like the massive ring gauge triple Maduro, and I will not get sick at all. Like I can handle a lot. Like it's very interesting. So as far as cigars and healthy is, I think things affect people differently. To be honest with you, in one, yeah, oh yeah, in one sitting, and I will sit there in one sitting and smoke the entire puppy. I bought a Lunatic, which is this ridiculous ring gauge cigar, right? It's like this freaking ridiculous ring gauge. And same thing, empty stomach, I'll smoke it. I love it. So that's why, like, I love cigars. I love talking about them. Oh, a good Maduro, man. Oh my gosh, Maduro. I just the flavor, the oils, the peatiness, the smokiness. Oh, I love it. But yeah, with that being said, I freaking love that stuff so much. But again, like genetically, I think some people are more predispositions. Like I talk about, I think it might be an ADHD thing as well, which I think a lot of people kind of like make up having ADHD. Yes, yeah, correct. Uh, Once you smoke cigarettes, that's why they put a disclaimer. It's not a safer alternative and much safer physically and more mentally beneficial. Pardon me, let me read that again. In my opinion, big tobacco wants you to smoke cigarettes. That's why they put the disclaimer. It's not a safe alternative. Much safer physically and more mentally beneficial. Yeah. So I would say it's different, to each their own. But I would say for me, everything I've seen, cigars seem to be far better than cigarettes. Again, I'm not totally defending it, but also the big difference is, all right, the big difference is, if you know, so my grandmother, she was a chain smoker for years, and so she actually got lung cancer, and she actually just beat it at 81, 82 years old. It's nuts. Well, I was gonna say with when you smoke cigarettes, you tend to smoke in so much more often and so much higher quantities than a cigar, and it is there's so many more chemicals that are used in cigarettes that make it far more addictive than cigars as well. So oftentimes, so if you get a pure cigarette, and again, I'm not a doctor, but if you get a pure cigarette, like a hand rolled cigarette, they tend to be nowhere near as addictive as the stuff you buy at the store. Like nowhere near as addictive, guys. A lot of what makes the cigarettes addictive are the not just the tobacco and everything. Again, I'm not a doctor, but are all the additives, the chemicals, or anything else you add to it that make it additionally addictive. Because again, I don't know if you have friends who are Europeans, but like in Europe, like all they do, like I had a girlfriend who's European, right? And gorgeous, Bulgarian, oh my gosh. But besides that, and she just most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Her breakfast every day, coffee and cigarettes. Just cigarettes, coffee, and she would hand roll cigarettes and everything. Oh my god. Besides that, but besides that, you can kind of tell I'm into. I've always liked ethnic women a lot. Besides that, but again, I'm an artsy guy. But besides that, but back to what I was saying. Well, that was not embarrassing at all. But yeah, so and her family, like everyone in her family, lived to be like ridiculous, way too old, and they just smoked all the cigarettes you could imagine all the time. And maybe it's due to lifestyle as well. And a lot of it too is like people are like, oh, the cigars will kill you. It's like, well, are you healthy? Like, do you exercise? Are you walking? What do you do in your free time? Are you watching TV all day? Are you getting sun? Are you eating well? Like, are you eating real food? There's so many different things that go into it. So again, I'm not an expert, but no, I agree with you. So Tremaine, yeah, I agree with you, man. No, I agree with you. So it's not entirely trivial. So it has to be. It's an educated risk, and so the mindset has to be okay. Like, okay, here's my mindset: is life is risk. Life is risk. I do. I love fine tobacco as well, my friend. Tobacco, it's so delicious. I just love the taste of tobacco. But just my mentality towards life is risk, and so you just don't know how longer you have. You don't know how much time you have, and so you could go at any moment, and you just don't know. And so either I can choose to just be ridiculously healthy all the time, which is again that's how most of my family live, which is good. I condone that behavior totally. Or I can be like, you know what? Like I'm gonna live a little. I'm gonna live a little. Well, my smoke alarm is not gonna go off at all. That's hilarious, guys. Like I am gonna live a little, and I'm going to enjoy. Guys, don't do this at home. That's really dumb. I I'm gonna live a little. I'm gonna enjoy a stogie in moderation. And the smoke alarm is about to go off. I am going to enjoy a stogie in moderation, and I'm just going to live life and enjoy it. This is really funny, actually. I did not plan this. This makes it more entertaining. This is for your entertainment value to make the day better. But besides that, but yeah, it's just my mentality. It's life is risk, and so it's just like, yeah, if you don't sleep enough, you get horrible health benefits from not sleeping enough, from lack of sleep, sleep deprivation. Like there's so many things that can kill you. If you live in a big city, you absorb smoke. If like when you live in a massive city and you see the pollution warning signs everywhere, like back when I lived in Fort Worth and Dallas, and would say, "Don't go outside today because the pollution is too bad." Stuff like that. Life is risk, and so you have to decide. That hurt. Decide the risk you're willing to take and move. Yeah, I know, I know. See, I planned it. Speaking of smoking, so like I'm not smoking a cigar. I'm smoking a stove. Dad joke. Like let's go with it. But that's hilarious. But guys, like life is risk. And like the conversation with my doctor. If you exercise to the extent they, hey, Tremaine, bro, I did it for you. I did it for you. You talk about the nicotine, zero nicotine, all grease, just like pure grease smoke. Like, let me tell you, my friend, you inspired me. But you're awesome, man. I just thought it was funny to say that. But back to what I was saying, yeah, is so like my doctor told me my life expectancy is actually cut short by about 5 years or so because I train so much. They told me like if you keep training and running marathons all the time, everything else, because okay, so part of the issue with my heart is that I have a heart defect. Part of the issue too is that my heart tissue is so muscular because I train so much in this nonstop martial arts and then running and everything else that it causes an issue that I will die sooner than it and all the blood that's processed through your kidneys, everything else. I will die at an earlier age from the amount of exercise I do if I maintain this than if I exercise less. But for me, it's quality of life. I would much rather live a life where I feel amazing every day, where I get to be in great shape, I feel proud about myself, I get to look the way I want to look, I get to achieve the goals I want, I get to run the marathons, the Ironmans, I get to call my best friend and go run an Ironman with them. Like, dude, that is amazing. I would much rather choose to live a life where I will die slightly sooner and then have an additional 5 years of life. If you remember the LCD, I'm gonna grab this the LCD Sound System song where it's I wouldn't trade this moment for another 5 years of life. If you remember that song, I wouldn't trade this moment for another 5 years of life. All My Friends, an amazing song by the way. I love LCD Sound System, weird band, but I freaking love them. Um, and yeah, it's just a life you want to live. It's just like, if you go out and you party too late, like it's going to cause health issues. If you don't sleep well enough, it causes health issues. If you exercise too much, if you live in a big city, if you eat processed food, like whatever it may be, like if you go to Chick-fil-A, man, like stuff like that. Okay, here's an example for you. So I don't drink a lot of this, but every so often I will have like a diet something, right? So a diet soft drink, and every so often I will. And so I don't drink a lot of it, but like people are like, oh, don't drink aspartame, it's gonna give you cancer. It's, like, it's the same, it's the same cancer risk as red meat. I'm not worried about aspartame. It's fine. Again, I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to what I say. But again, like just, I'd much rather have some aspartame than have the massive spike from all the sugar in a regular soda. But besides that, but yeah, it's just life is risk. Oh yeah, totally. Oh totally. It's a diet soft drink, but still. But yeah, the soft drink is way worse for me than cigars. And that's the thing is that, yeah, like, am I gonna have this every day? No. Diet soda does tend to lead to weight gain if you have a ton of it. I have it in very limited moderation. And also, I'll be honest with you, I actually don't like real soda for the most part because it's just way too overbearingly sweet for me. Um, It's just way too overbearingly sweet. Do I smoke cigars every day? Not every day. Normally about 5 days a week. 3 to 5 days a week. Sometimes I'll smoke one every day. Like as I've been shooting videos, I've been smoking one every day, but generally, one a day at most. Generally, I will smoke more like 5 days a week at most, something like that. Again, I try to again have the moderation. I try to make it something I enjoy. I try to make it something that I come back to, and I just want to come back to. Again, it's like a good love affair. It's like, if you're madly in love with someone and you see them constantly nonstop, you tend to, the passion dies down a little bit. So it's good to have a little bit of a break and just to enjoy life and everything else. Um, yeah, that's correct. What you said, that's like so I come from family doctors and I know a lot of physicians and every one of them tells me the same thing. If you having like 4 or 5 a week, like you're fine. Like six, even like 6 a week, you're fine. Like you're gonna be fine. Like it's when you're having like 3 a day, 2 a day, stuff like that. Like, because again, like you're getting, again, I'm not a doctor, but again, I don't. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe it's from Texas. I'm biased, and like the guy who lived to be 112 or 16 or whatever, that veteran in Austin lived. He smoked what, like 2 cigars a day, every day. He was 112 years old. Like what a baller. World War II, and then lived and smoked stogies till the day he died. What an absolute baller, guys. Um, yeah. So again, like in my case, it's just something where it's like I'm just not worried about it because I used to be like, okay, guys, I went years right, zero sugar. I would eat like zero fast food, zero. Yeah, you're correct. I know, I agree with you. Zero sugar, zero fast food, nothing. I was ridiculously clean. Like I would never touch sugar to taste my life. I was even leaner than I am now. I was like, you can see like all the veins rippling down my abs, stuff like that, because I was so lean. And you can live that way, but if you live that way, it's not a bad way to live. You just tend to find yourself being like, you're like, this. I'm bored. Like this is kind of no fun after a while. And so for me, I just made the choice that and guys, you don't realize I love cigars, and when you see me talk about them, like I don't just love them. Yeah, yes, I know. Fruit did. He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was like 20 a day. And also, okay, so I'm a creative type. So for me, oh my gosh, guys, cigars are just like, they're heavenly for me. Because again, cigarettes, I'm not gonna get into cigarettes. I'm an athlete. I'm not gonna do cigarettes. Again, I come from family chain smokers. Not gonna do cigs. But like for me, cigars are just, they're meditative. They You do chain smoke cigars all day, do you? There's worse vices to have, man. I mean, I think it's better than vaping. I think it's a heck of a lot safer than vaping. I could be wrong, but I think vaping is not the greatest. But yeah, it's like, as I said though, like you just gotta live a little, and also something like, I freaking love cigars. So if I lose, like, yes, it gets expensive. Do you vape too much, Nick? Yeah. So try Nick Crack gum. Nick Crack gum, I've been told, is a far safer alternative. How much does it cost for chain smoke cigars? So keep in mind, if you smoke cigarettes, you're probably spending $15 a day easily if you smoke cigarettes, or if you play Lotto, something like that. And I think Lotto's like very stupid. So. You're funny. You're funny, man. You're funny. You're fun. Well, I mean, I don't recommend that either in jars. That's a little bit weird, to be honest with you. But like, let's avoid that. But yeah, it's expensive. Like, so, all right. How much do hobbies cost? How much do a hobby cost? How much does a hobby cost? Well, I mean, if you have a hobby, you're probably spending at least $200 a month on it, right? $200 a month, 300, something like that. So if you smoke cigars every day, if you're buying them from Cigar Lounge, you'll pay more. But if you buy them online, you're this is goat cheese, by the way, which I adore. If you buy them online, you will be spending $5, $6, $8 a cigar, and so it still is pricey. It's still expensive, but it's not as bad as you think. And if you're adult, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna pull. Who's it sold bathwater, Belle Delphine or whatever. I'm good, guys. I'm good. I'm not gonna go that route. I am good. There's many things I do for money. That is not one of them, my friend. That is not one of them. I prefer to make money in a cool way. Cool way, like chat with you guys as I eat burgers on a beautiful Tuesday night. But But as I was saying, this, this is quite good. So I enjoy cooking. I like my food. I enjoy what I make, so I cook it. But besides that, but so I guess if you smoke every day, multiple times a day, at least $300 a month. If you smoke one a day, like $200 a month. Like you are going on there, dude. Holy moly, dude. Yeah, yeah. Like, do you buy the cigarillos? I like the cigarillo. So I love cigarillos. A cigarillo is like an amazing, like a walk cigar, where you just go on a walk, smoke a stogie, and just. That's what I love to do. I love to go on walks and just have a morning walk with a stogie, and just a little cigarillo. And you can buy a box of those, jar, case, tin, whatever you call them, for like $20, 15, $20. And so I adore those. And so I'm probably going to smoke some of those again, just so I do that. Do I have a favorite cigar brand? Probably, yeah, they're great. Probably Agnarosa Leaf, I believe they're called. I love their cigars. I really enjoy a lot of Rocky Patels as well. My father, you can't go wrong. Trying to think. Romeo and Julieta, I really like the Robusto and everything else. Camacho makes some great cigars. I don't really have a favorite. I say Agnarosa Leaf's Maduro has been my favorite cigar as of late. It's like a torpedo meets box press shape. Very good cigar. The manager at my local cigar lounge, he recommended it personally. Excellent. Yes, I do. Every so often I do just blind. I do. I blind buy cigars. I'll just look at a sale, buy an amount, and just see if I like it. And yeah, so I what kind of work do I do? So sales, marketing, and managing martial arts schools. So since I was like freaking, I moved to the house when I was 17, and I started my first karate school at 18, and ran that for years. And so when you do that, that's funny. When you do that, yeah, you work long days, long hours. You market all day, you sell all day, you run the business, do all the back business stuff, everything else, and you teach classes all night, and then you go do that all day, every day, and it's a lot of work. So what it really is, a lot of it is all customer service, and so it's all customer service. So you're basically talking to people all day, you're banging phones, you're dialing phones. If you're familiar with Alex Hormozy and the work he does in his videos, he talks about his gym. Super, super similar industry. Very, very similar. Similar industry. And so that's why I work so much. That, and then also art. So I love karate, but I'm a creative type. So randomly, I started painting again. And also randomly, my painting started selling again. And so I've always seen myself as an artist. And so I took some time. I focused on art and I traveled, painted everywhere, worked some galleries, restaurants, everything else, and made a bunch of paintings and sold a bunch of them. And it's a big creative outlet for me. I love it. And people seem to like it, so I sell them. Murals, stuff like that, and just traveled the country and did that. I've done a bunch of murals for karate schools, stuff like that. And so for karate, I got back into it. An example of paintings close by? Yeah, in a moment. I can get one. Maybe. Would you like me to post more videos of my art? post more videos of my art, talk about my art, stuff like that. My art is what you call expressionism, where you just make it. Where you just paint out your head. I am eating a burger. Not limes. I'm eating a burger. Yeah, so most of my early content was all about art. So most of my early content was all about art. And so I was going pretty hard with that. And for me, my mentality is, well, what are my passions? What do I love? I do have digital. I did a lot of digital art. I actually sold some NFTs, believe it or not, which is hilarious. And I have some friends who are quite successful in NFT. Fear, whatever it's called, Sphere. However, like I just don't want to play that game. It's just like that's just too much for me. Like I'm good. Too much for me, guys. But yeah, I do some digital art, painting. I really prefer painting with oils or acrylic or watercolors in particular. But yeah, if you go down and you see some of my older content, you will see I post a lot of art. So you can see a lot of my paintings and art and everything. And all the time, I'll just go and just bring a sketch pad and just paint. Make art. Enjoy it. Do it all. I see art as a way of journaling. Yes. Nub, Connecticut. Hey, good to see you, brother. How are you? The Nub Connecticut's very good. I like the Nub a lot. One of my friends who's has excellent taste of cigars. We were smoking Padrones and a Davidoff together. And he recommended a Nub. And he was like, hey, it's a small cigar, but it smokes like a massive cigar. It's very good. And I tried it. I was like, this is damn good. It's a good cigar, man. Hey, is Console Skater? Thanks for coming on, man. I'm happy to have you here. Shoot me a like. We're chatting cigars and everything else and art and everything in between as I'm cooking and I'm eating a burger. And a very good burger, by the way. So, this is not meant to sound conceited, but I find myself not enjoying restaurants that much anymore. And partly because I like the food I make more. Nub's very good. The nubs I've had are very good. I also had a Buffalo Trace cigar, which was surprisingly good. It was definitely, I believe it's aged in a barrel, and it was quite tasty. I had a friend. Short fat cigars, me too. So have you ever tried a Lunatic? A Lunatic is nuts. It's pretty wild, but I love it. I love it. Lunatic is excellent. Good cigar, good flavor. So I love the taste of tobacco, and I love intense cigars. And so a Lunatic, like a flathead, is fun, man. I love it. Yeah. Oh, so you liked it? Good. Yeah, So I was told I have other friends who are cigar snobs who smoke like freaking like 5 a day, and they said they loved Buffalo Trace cigar. Like they bought like multiple boxes and just smoked them all. So actually, my profile picture is actually of me smoking a Buffalo Trace cigar. Goat cheese is excellent, isn't it? I adore goat cheese. Goat cheese is excellent. I'll be right back, guys. I'm still talking, but goat cheese is excellent. Goat cheese, like the tanginess to it. I'm running out of battery. I'm just gonna pop this in real fast. The tanginess to it, the flavor, everything else, I just think it's excellent. Salam, how are you? What's going on, man? I just think it's excellent. The flavor, everything else. Goat cheese cigars are just heaven. Not cigars. Goat cheese on things are just amazing. I love it. So I'll show you one of my favorite protein sources that I have all the time is also this, which is goat milk. I drink a ton of this as well. Like I also love it. I love the tanginess, everything else. So what flag is that? Where's that from? But I love the tanginess to it. So I also drink this all the time. It's quite funny. and I prefer the flavor to regular milk as well. Regular milk, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of dull, it's boring. I don't love it, but goat milk I love. Um, Thank you for the like, I appreciate it. Goat milk I love, and yeah, goat milk I love. Goat cheese. So what I really love is a good goat cheese omelet with like a good sausage, caramelized onions, goat cheese, some spinach, maybe I'm trying to think pepper, some kind of pepper like a bell pepper or something. Oh, so good, so good, guys. But this is goat cheese mixed with truffle, I believe. Is supposedly what it is. Goat cheese mixed with truffle. Humidor walkthrough. So I will bring you on one eventually. So I actually have one planned. Oh, thank you for mentioning. I will. So I don't have a good humidor in my house. So I just have a box humidor. So I will plan an actual humidor walkthrough at the cigar lounge I frequent and show you that. Speaking of which, I stopped by a cigar lounge today, and like they had their humidor door was wide open, and the cigar was just drying out, and I was like, oh my gosh, who's running this place? This is nuts. Like, I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. You're destroying these poor cigars, and you still want to charge me a premium price for it. That's terrible. Yeah, goat cheese is excellent, isn't it? So I don't have a super sweet palate. I don't love super sweet things. But I like savory or tangy things. So I love lemon, lime, goat cheese, um, goat cheese. I'm trying to think of other things, like balsamic vinaigrette, stuff like that. I like things that have a little bit of potency to it. So that's probably why I love cigars so much. It kind of fits my palate, and I enjoy them. And so one thing too, this is interesting, is if you don't eat a lot of sugar, you are very, very sensitive to sweet things. And so if you're very, very sensitive to sweet things, a lot of times tobacco, the cigars you smoke, actually taste sweet. The natural sweetness in tobacco comes through. A Leaf by Oscar, I don't think so. I'll have to get a try. Is that a medium body, a full body, mild? What type is it? But yeah, so yeah, if you can really get the sweet, tangy notes in a good cigar, it's just so beautiful because the experience is just amazing, and you just catch all these flavors that if you're eating nothing but like soda and other things, it's just more difficult. I feel like if you are or desensitized to sweet, I feel like it's more difficult to catch on some of those notes naturally, and so I personally love the taste of tobacco. So that's why I really enjoy a lot of Maderos as well. Like the Metallica cigar, the 80 M81 Maduro to the core, I thought was excellent. It was very good. Was it the best cigar I've had? No, but it was very good. And for the price point, it's only like $10, something like that. Not bad at all. So a very tasty cigar, good flavor, good price point as well. And I know everyone's buying it because everyone's buying it um, because Metallica, obviously, because everyone loves Metallica. Like, who doesn't love Metallica? Which favorite Metallica song? I probably Whiplash is my favorite Metallica song. If I'm being honest, I love Whiplash. I love Whiplash. I do like songs like Creeping Death a lot. Orion is, I know it's like the one that everyone talks about because that's kind of the progressive one they did. Great song as well. I'd say Me Body comes wrapped in a tobacco leaf as opposed to a cellophane. So that sounds good. That's not a good cigar. I'll have to go check it out, see if my local shop has it. My local shop has gotten a whole bunch of new stuff, and I just need to go smoke them and just go try them. So I will. Yeah, I have. I tend to be, is it ENTJ? ENFP or ENTJ is what I tend to be. So I tend to be like or INTJ is what I tend to be. So I tend to be ENTP or INTJ. So the Myers Briggs I think is can give you a broad look, but you're kind of casting a wide net, and I feel like you need to take something that's more specific to you. So I've actually want to take Jordan Peterson's personality test. It seems very solid, and also the more I read, and also you change so much as you age and everything that I feel like it's like good for like an opener to have a sort of understanding how you're wired, but it's not super specific. So it's good, but I think it's not the most accurate. And so it's kind of like IQ tests where you take one and you have this like crazy high IQ, and you take another one and you have a low IQ, or maybe it's just me, but like whatever. And also, if you kind of memorize it, it makes it easier to kind of rig it in essence. And so, yeah, it's where it's well, obviously like, can you mail a letter? Can you close an envelope, put it in the mailbox, and ship it? That's all. Like, can you drive? Can you drive fast enough in the left lane? Ah, well, your IQ, your IQ, or according to people on the internet, my IQ is very, very low because I like to toast the hell out of my cigars. But besides that, or my IQ is very low because I choose to smoke cigars. Besides that, Gallup Strengths Finder, I find that interesting. But yeah, if you can tell, I have a rather eclectic personality in many aspects, or eccentric, eclectic. And so I know I've been told, because I do enjoy therapy, because I think it is a beneficial tool. I've been told I have definitely symptoms of like OCD and stuff like that, which I would agree is accurate. But with that being said, a lot of those, and like still get help, everything else if you need it. But I will say, a lot of the traits that I thought were negative in childhood that I kind of carried into adulthood have been very beneficial because a lot of my success has been due to the fact that I am hyper aware of everything. And that's something the way I am. Like, I have always been hyper aware of everything. And when I say that, I kind of just notice everything. I pick up on stuff really well. I pick up on body language super well, cues. I was talking with an instructor about it, where my instructor was saying, he was saying, feed off your energy. He's like, I feed off your energy. And you always have this upbeat energy. And like, even when I'm tired, whenever a class starts, or there's business to be done, I snap out of my tired. I just like snap, I just get back to work. Because we're talking about feeding off energy, and that's why you have to spend, like, your environment dictates your success, because you have to spend time around good people. Because otherwise, like, all the negativity, everything else, it just affects you. Like, for some people, it doesn't as much, but it really does. That's why the friends you have, the company you keep, the books you read, the YouTube you watch, everything, it affects you. And so you have to acknowledge these things and realize that, realize that you got to focus on the good. And also, I've had this conversation myself many times where I've realized, like, how come I have these negative people in my life, and it's probably me, because I need to fix them myself and stop dealing with these people. Because again, I remember where I struggled with standing up for myself and boundaries and everything else, especially as a kid. And life gets more difficult if you don't have hard conversations, particularly if you don't have hard conversations with yourself. And so you really have to be honest with who you are as a human being, your aspirations, your goals, what you're struggling with, what you need to do. And so for me personally, I'm a big believer in your ability to have difficult conversations is a direct correlation with your success. And if you have an ability to have difficult conversations and you can just have them and you can tackle things head on, you will be successful in the long run. Yes, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's how I am. That's awesome. And also so most people you meet who are entrepreneurs are that way. Most entrepreneurial types are super hyper vigilant, like shockingly so. And most of us have bad anxiety. We have hyper vigilant. We're hyper aware. We're OCD as hell. We notice or ADHD as hell as well. We notice everything. A lot of us have like kind of just weird. Well, I don't think it's weird, but what to many people they see it as weird character traits, mannerisms, things like that. Such as for me, for example, like I have been told many times. Like I kind of have an interesting cadence to my speech, my body movements, everything else, things of that nature. And so for years, I remember everyone would tell me I was weird all the time. But it was interesting because I'd be told I was weird, but people would always tell me like they have an admiration for me, which that's not to sound conceited, but or like I'm very like free, right? And so for me, I think the greatest freedom in life, besides I think financial freedoms are very important, but one of the greatest freedoms is when you legitimately do not care what other people think of you. That's one of the greatest freedoms in the world, and is truly life changing. Because when you really develop your, don't give an F muscle, don't give it a muscle, life becomes so much easier. Because you can, instead of always thinking about keeping with the Joneses, whatever it may be, um, um, give me a second. I'll answer your question in a moment. But what was I even saying, guys? I totally lost my train of thought. That is so wild. I read that comment, totally lost my train of thought. But again, as I said, I am quite exhausted, so that's why. But I am going to go straight to this question, though, with this. Hello, sir. I'm not really sure where I could ask this or not, but I feel empty with my life, going to lectures, go to part time. I went through home cooked dinner, to my laundry, play some video games. I feel empty. Yeah. So this is something that is kind of unpopular, but I think is something worth hearing as well. So life is not meant to always be happy and joyful. Life is meant to really suck at times, and you gotta understand, in life there are ups and downs. There are good seasons, there's bad seasons. Like we will have intense moments of joy and happiness, and then we have death and everything else. Like my aunt, who I love dearly, my grandmother, who I love dearly. My grandmother was hit by a bus and killed. Like that's how my grandmother went. Well, as a truck. Besides that, my grandmother, who raised me, who I love more than anyone, who was the light of my world, the strongest woman I ever met, the person who loved me more than anybody. I saw her, and then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call, and she was hit by a logging truck. And yeah, um, that's a dark moment, a dark moment. But in that dark moment, I remember that in the bigger picture, that me being influenced by somebody as beautiful as that, being influenced by somebody who was that loving, that caring, who helped me through so many different things, helped me when I was in my darkest places, helped me when I felt the same way. When I was going home, I just wanted to play video games. I wanted to stare at a wall. I felt purposeless. I remember for years, I had a season, like as a teenager in particular, and then after when I had a bad concussion, I remember I had a season where I played video games all the time because again, I'm pretty hyper vigilant and like ADHD and everything, so I really really thrive. I love them. I'm the type of person like I'd play like Bloodborne in the hardest mode or Hotline Miami in the hardest mode and whatever. But life just sucks sometimes, and you have to realize it's part of life, and you have to get through it and realize that there are lessons to be learned where you're at, and the lessons you learn now, if you're aware and you stay aware, will help form you and mold you to the person that you need to become. Not necessarily the person you want to become, but the person you need to become. And I've had some very, very heartbreaking and very difficult things happen to me this past couple of years. And with all being said, is these lessons, these things taught me to become not the person I want to become per se, but it forced me to become the person I needed to become. And that's powerful. And when you look back in your life, you want to look back and realize, and you can see these difficulties, these tough conversations, people, whatever it may be, it needed to happen to get you to where you are. And so if you are going through a very difficult time like that and you feel aimless, you feel pointless, you have to acknowledge that. You have to realize that it's in your brain, and you have to realize that you have to figure out a way to get out of it. And it's difficult, and it's literally as simple as just waking up in the morning and just busting out push-ups. Waking in the morning, just doing some pull-ups. Getting outside and going on a run. And I've had many moments of bleakness and darkness, and many moments of hopeless desperation along the way. But the point being is you endure it, you get through it, and it makes you tough, it makes you gritty, it makes you become the person you need to become, it makes life beautiful, it makes life have meaning. Life is suffering, and when you learn to embrace the suffering and love it, because life can be beautiful on the other end. And you'll notice I like to say all the time is make life beautiful. I've had a very difficult life in many aspects. I've been very blessed, but I've had a very difficult life. I've had a lot of abuse, a lot of betrayal, a lot of lies, a lot of neglect, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of hurt, broken bones, broken noses, broken everything. And it's an active choice to choose to make life beautiful, and make life beautiful because if not for you, for those around you, and even if you are someone that you feel that your life has no meaning, you feel like it's pointless, you can still make life beautiful and make life an inspiration to everyone around you. And that's kind of that's kind of the way you get through it, is realizing it's not about you. It's more than that. I'll get up in a moment. Oh, pardon me. Pardon, but there we go. There you go. Some sweet, that worked. But got it. Sweet. All right. So realizing it's not about you, and realizing that if you get through it, there's amazing rewards at the other end, and you can help people at the other end. It makes it amazing. So hopefully I answered it, man. Hopefully you can get through it. I hope you do. I hope you got something from this. I hope you can get through it and you'll be a-okay. And just know that life is beautiful and you'll be fine. But your wife and you play video games every night. That's excellent. That's excellent. As long as you have something you can bond with your wife over. It's so important, especially if you are married, that you have something that both of you strongly bond over, both of you love, and something to bring you together. And so I don't. So I used to love video games. I don't enjoy video games to the same degree as at all anymore. And I'll say it's interesting. I still love them and appreciate them. I think they're fun. But for me personally, I've just been able to, luckily, partly I just forced myself to get out of my comfort zone, start living a life I really love. And I've been, training my Ironman and everything else, and running a business and doing this and all that stuff. And I've just been loving it. And I still love video games. What's your favorite video game? What's your favorite one? What do you play? One of my favorites is Bloodborne is my favorite, so I absolutely love that game. Hollow Miami and Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is just the most beautiful video game of all time. Like we talk about art, I absolutely see Shadow of the Colossus as art. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's so good. It's a game I play. I just remember it forever because it's so amazing. Stardew Valley. So that's one I never played. That's basically Harvest Moon, right? That's essentially basically a Harvest Moon like game, right? But I will say when I play video games though, I enjoy playing old video games. Like those are the ones I love, are the old video games. And Gacha. Is it Gacha? I've not played Gacha. Ninja Gaiden, I know that one. Of course, of course, I know the martial arts video games. Of course, I know those ones, guys. Obviously. Yeah, I remember used to play Call of Duty. I used to kill it in Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, and Black Ops. I used to kill it. I washed my hands. I used to love those games. Gears of War. Like I was still like, okay, like if somebody popped on Gears of War, I could just bust up Gears of War for an hour or so. Like I would totally do it. Yes, anything turn-based. So, does anyone remember Age of Empires? Age of Empires was outstanding. Age of Empires 2, amazing game, amazing. Also, an odd one is Baldur's Gate, but the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Truth or Dare. Like, talk about a video game. Guys, I'm tired. If you're talking about doing the live, I'm too exhausted. Maybe next time, but I am quite exhausted. So I'm about to pass out, I'll be honest. AoE was awesome. Sports games, I never played a lot of sports games. I played Wii Sports back in the day. Swing Dancer, man. I love swing dancing. Yes, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it tends to happen as you get older. You tend to just like, I know for me personally, like, I really I don't mind going out. I'm fun to be around everything. Like I like to dance. I like swing dancing. I love. Actually, I love dancing, and so I will go and do some like salsa dancing every so often, or swing dancing every so often. I really enjoy it, but like, it's like let's go out until like 3 a.m. and we'll sleep an hour and wake up like feeling terrible the next day. I'm like I got stuff to do, man. Like I got stuff to do. I'd much rather go home and like okay, like if you have the right woman, you have a beautiful woman with you, a beautiful girl you care about, and you go out and you're dancing till wee hours of the night, whatever, something like that. That's amazing. It's beautiful, but after a while, stuff like that, it's still beautiful. It's still amazing, but like your priorities change, and like it's beautiful because life's beautiful because you're always changing, right? And like I was out with a friend, and we went out to a bar, and we go to this bar. Again, I don't drink, but I'm going there with him. We go at yes, the burger was amazing. We go out to this bar, and we go there, and we go there, and within 5 minutes, some woman runs up to me and just says, "You're gorgeous," and this kisses me right in the mouth, which is, yeah, kind of like a little sexual salty, but whatever, whatever. And well, she was also doing other things that are a little bit that were sexual salty, but besides that, so so to yeah, I was talking to a friend who was younger, and that would have been kind of a cool experience if I was like, "Can you have a burger?" I mean, I'd happily share one. Here, have a burger, but like over the camera, maybe not so much. But yeah, so the experience like was kind of like I just felt icky. I just felt kind of icky. Like I wasn't like, "Oh, this is amazing." Like some hot girl just like made out with me. But I was like, eh, eh, eh. If I was 14, I think it was cool, sort of, 'cause when I was dumb enough. But as an adult, I felt like I felt like my boundaries were violated. I felt like I didn't like it at all, to be honest with you. So just like priorities change, get older, and your perspective changes and everything else. Yeah, the burger was fantastic. It was amazing. Here they're cooling off, but there's a patty right there, bud. A patty right there. There's another one. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I find my perspective changing so much as I get older, and I've always appreciated little things, but I love living life and embracing life. But yeah, my priorities change. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I try not to say the exact age. I'm in my like mid twenties, like mid twenties. So let's go with that, mid twenties. I moved out of the house when I was like 17 years old or whatever. So I've been on my own since then. So I've just kind of lived this kind of crazy life. Partly it's because of martial arts and just connections, and I've just kind of lived a wacky life, man. And so that's why, or unusual. Let's go with unusual or fast lane life. Let's go with that. Very fast lane type of life. Nice, man. You're still young. The late 30s is still young. Yeah, yeah. Girls are pricey. Women can be quite pricey. Word to the wise. Word to the wise. If you really want a woman to be super attracted to you, don't care. And when you carry yourself with an air of just nonchalant and you just fully embrace who you are, that's the best way to have a girlfriend who adores you and you don't have to break the bank on. And trick is too is also find when you legitimately care about and your priorities are straight. And so she's not going to be like insisting you do stuff you don't want to do or like go out clubbing or whatever all night, doing things that are hyper expensive or whatever. Yeah, and also like I'm someone where when it comes to women, I appreciate beautiful women, but I don't really find the person like super attracted to me personally unless I'm intellectually stimulated by them. Um, uh, yes. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that, brother. Thanks, Andreas. Yeah, and that's kind. I used to kind of outlet the same way as well. I try to be very candid. I'm someone where I really believe that your gift and your real purpose in life is find your gift and figure out a way to give it away. And so for me, I'm someone with very curious nature, and curious. I'm a legitimately curious person. And I'm a generally curious person. I find people immensely interesting. I find life immensely interesting, and so I try to find out ways to actualize the fact that life is interesting, connect with beautiful people, and live more the life I want to live. And just find out more about what drives everyone and what makes life beautiful and everything else. And that's why have loved the community on YouTube. I've loved what we've been doing here. It's been so exciting. I've been loving to talk about cigars and life and everything else, and just kind of my mentality. And as I said, I've kind of had a interesting philosophy on living life and the way I've chosen to live my life and everything else. And I try to make the most out of it because one day we will, hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll be able to wear our age with pride. And then one day we'll go down, close our eyes, and never wake up. And hopefully, while we're here, we can leave a mark. We can make all the beautiful connections. We can appreciate life for what it is, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and enjoy it. And yeah, just live it fully and make it beautiful. Fyodor Dostoevsky, my favorite quotes. Like if I don't have any tattoos, but if I ever got a tattoo, I'd love to get it tattooed on me, which is "Beauty will save the world," which people say it's a cheesy comment, but it's you have to understand of someone like Dostoevsky who saw so much ugly, who saw so much suffering, saw so much fear, especially in Russia back in the 1800s. Really your only choice in life is to make life beautiful, and our option is we can have more suffering, we can choose to be a slave to suffering, we can choose to be a slave to other people's suffering, or we can choose that I'm going to make life beautiful, I'm going to make life amazing, I'm going to make life a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's a mentality, it's a mindset, it's a choice, and I firmly believe it's a choice. So for me personally, that's why I'm gonna do this. I choose to go that route, and just yeah, life is not always great. Life sometimes sucks and everything else, but I think you can choose to make life beautiful and choose to love your life. And so part is gonna be dark promote. Um, yeah, and also partly too is that I have always struggled with bad depression, and so for me in particular, struggling with bad depression, struggling with anxiety, struggling with abuse, struggling with the fact that I used to have a mother who would tell me, one day would say she loves me, and then because she was manic as fuck, the next day, pardon the language, the next day she would say, I hate you, I hope you kill yourself. And I would deal with that all the time growing up. And there's a painting right there, guys. There's my paintings right there. I would deal with that all the time growing up, and part of my comments are gone for a moment. But that's okay, we'll figure it out. Dealing with that growing up, um, I was blessed to be. I was blessed to give me a like if the comment's still working. I was blessed to be exposed to literature and good things like that, and realize that even though life may suck at times, life can be truly beautiful, and you have to choose it. There's a beautiful movie. I think it's called Life is Beautiful. It's a movie about the Holocaust. Pardon, guys, I'm plugging this in. A movie about the Holocaust, and it's about the father who he and his son are in the concentration camp, and and he is hiding him from the horrors of what the Nazis are doing. Thanks, man. What the Nazis are doing, and even though the guy is being starved, he's being beaten, people are dying. He is playing a game with his son. He's telling his son, "This is just a game, and we just have to win this game." And even like if you've seen the movie, not to mean to spoil it, but the dark and the beautiful, beautiful ending of it. Um, it just summarizes my mentality towards life so well, and summarizes how I feel towards life so well, which is you just have to make life beautiful. And that's where I talk about cigars and everything else. Like cigars are just kind of it's something that it's an essence that it just brings joy to life. It makes life better. It makes me appreciate being alive more. And that's why I love cigars so much. That's why I love art so much. That's why you'll see I'm sitting here and it was great. We're smoking tonight. So I'm actually not smoking. Good to hear see, brother. I'm actually not smoking anything tonight, but I did have this morning. I did have it was a Rocky Patel. It was our Freedom. It was just one I just bought randomly on sale. It was a Connecticut, and it wasn't bad. It was good. It was good. I also have it's a Fuente. It's a Fuente. It's a curly head, which is just like a real narrow. It's a cheap cigar. It's a solid smoke though. It's like $5, $4. It's barely anything, but for the money, it's really good. It's actually very mild, but just pleasant smoke, good draw, good flavor, everything else. Um, I recommend. What are you smoking? Oh, I appreciate you. You too. You too, Sabira. How's it going? Thank you. I just replied to you. What kind of phone do I have? If I tell you, you're gonna get on me because people are tribal about their phones. So tribal. I just have it's an Android. I love Pixels, the Google phones. I personally love them. That's why I use them. They're great in my opinion. I may switch to iPhone, but I'm just so used to my Pixel that I really enjoy it. But I may switch to my iPhone for the next purchase I make for a phone. I don't know, maybe so, maybe not. But as far as cigars though, I want to smoke another Maduro, something solid. Padron, nice. There we go, my friend. There we go. Now you're talking. That's a good one. I like iPhones. You're good, but I like iPhones. But like, I love my Android, man. I love my Android. They're excellent. It's great. I did. I didn't I reply to you? Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Well, a big reason I post my content as well is because I always wanted a YouTube channel. As a Sabir Khan, I did reply to you. Love you too. You're awesome. But so a big reason I I was a wuss and I was too afraid to post my content for years because I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of being mocked. I was afraid of different things. And it took some life experiences, it took some difficulty, some suffering to realize that no one really cares. Um, these things just don't matter, and you have to live your life. And you have the choice in life that either you'll live life cowardly or you live life fully and boldly. And I've decided that I'm just gonna live life boldly, and so that's why I decided for YouTube. I want to express myself in a way where it's very candid to me, but also in a way where people can relate to it. 'Cause people tend to be drawn to energy attraction. Energy attracts, and people appreciate candidness. But also, so I could just talk to you from the heart and be able to say like, "Hey, I came through all this. If I can do it, you can absolutely do it too." And I've absolutely loved it, and it's been it's uh, and back to what I was saying, it's it's been very beautiful. I love it. For me, it feels like a form of artistic expression, and so for me, I'm a creative. So I have to paint, I have to make art, I have to do stuff. Like, so there's this painting here, which I just made. It was a while ago, but I just love. Um, um, yeah, yeah. Well, and also keep in mind, like your family and friends, like they don't care. And so my friends, I am so blessed. I have some amazing, beautiful friends who are amazing, and they give me a hard time about everything. That's really fine. But a healthy way, because my friends keep me in check and they tell me the truth. My friends don't lie to me. That's why they're my friends. I love them. But I'll show you this painting here. It's very special to me, so you can see it. Um, but yeah, I gotta be me. I gotta be me. If from that song, uh, I can't hide who I am. Oh, how it goes. But so I'll tell you with this. So basically, I went through a really really intense heartbreak a few years back, where I had a girl I was convinced I was gonna marry, and I truly loved her. She was the only girl I ever met that I truly loved. I did answer you. Android 14, August, Merbank, Succo. You have any questions? Um, but what I was saying, I had a girl I really loved, and um, I loved her. I cared about her, and she's the only girl I ever met that I truly felt like I loved. And when I started getting serious with her, when I started getting serious with her, um, I sabotaged it, and I purposely sabotaged it because I thought I did not deserve to be loved by her because she was too good for me. Congrats, happy birthday, you turned 20. Happy about it. Yeah, well, I was raised by a woman, so I tend to communicate similar to a woman at times, and so I'm into like manly shit and everything else constantly. But like some people, like most people, don't think I'm gay any longer, but just also because all right, I'm not gonna say okay. Yeah, I let's just say I don't have an issue like a lot. A lot of women pursue me. Let's go with that. That sounds good. See to the cell, roast me away, all that stuff. I just deal with it. But back to what I was saying. I'm still a bachelor. I enjoy it. But back to what I was saying with everything is that this girl though, I messed it up and I realized how wonderful and special she was to me. I destroyed it, and she told me things about myself that are so true, and she knew exactly who I was and saw through me all my everything. And I realized I wasn't the man who deserved her, and that hurt so much, was so real. And when that happened, I truly decided that, and what she said was so true because she said you were so fake. There's nothing real about you because all you care about is money and stuff like that. And she was right. And I realized I was not a man who deserved someone like her. And so I decided that I needed to become somebody who would be deserving of someone like that, and become somebody who also loved myself enough, who took care of myself, who pursued his passions, who lived life fully. So I become the type of person who could attract someone like that to my life. And also, so I'd be proud of myself. And I learned to just love myself and be proud of myself. Um, oh, nice, man. That sounds like a fantastic cigar. That sounds fantastic. I'm very tempted. Like while we're going, I'm very tempted to light one up. I'm very tempted to do that. But hey, how's it going, brother? We've been on for a while, guys. Like it's been a minute, team. It's been a minute. But back to what I was saying with everything, project notification, was that you tend to attract someone who's similar to you. You tend to attract people into your life that, based on what they see in you, and people who want to be your mate tend to want to be near you because they're similar to you or they see something they admire. And if you have someone you love, you really want to find someone. If you want to have a long term relationship, marry, get married, something like that, it's one thing to love someone, it's one thing to care about someone, but it's very different to really be with someone that you truly admire and you truly admire. That's when the love is so deep, it's so beautiful, and it's just the most beautiful, sexy romance you've ever had in your life. And I knew as an artist, I would refuse to make art because I tend to get kind of manic with my art and obsessive at times. And I would not do that because I was afraid of the judgment from people when I made my art. And when I was a kid, my mother she used to burn my drawings and paintings and say they're of the devil. You're gonna go to hell for doing that. And so she would be like, "Fuck you! You're not gonna make art." Pardon the language. And so I did. I stopped making art. And as an adult, going through everything, my heart broken, the love of my life gone, and me just being just this sad, sad guy. I started, for some reason, like in my soul, I just knew I needed to paint again, and I started painting, and I just couldn't stop, and I just started painting whatever was in my head, just like a total expression. And this is what I made. I'll show you in a moment. This is what I made. And when I was going through this, I had Lyme's disease. I was exhausted. I was in had some bad relationships, bad business partners, stolen thousands of dollars from me. I felt very depleted. I felt exhausted. Everything else, and I made this because I thought life's a ride. It's a journey. I'm a traveler, and as I'm doing this, I'm gonna choose to embrace it and hold on to joy and hold on to being happy and hold on being full life. And this is a painting I made. If you can see it, as you see the painting, it's a storm. There's a cargo ship. There's wave. It's tumultuous. Um, the it's beating down everything else, and you just see the guy, which evidently that's me with my long hair, who's just choosing to be at the forefront, choosing to embrace a storm, to face it, just to do a big middle finger towards the universe and say, I love you so much. I'm going to choose, despite all this heartbreak, despite the betrayal, despite the disappointment, despite my plans not working out, despite the fact that I am heartbroken. I choose joy. I choose love, and I choose to still cling on to what makes me human. I choose to improve. I choose to just be there for other people and love my life and live fully. Um, and yeah, and that's why this painting here is just it's simple. It's cartoony. It looks like a children's book illustration, and it just means so much to me because when I see it, I see me, and when I see it, I remember what I went through, and when I see it, I see myself embracing the storm, and I freaking conquered it, and I freaking needed it, and it turned me who I need to become. It turned me into someone who is less judgmental, um, is someone who loves life, is someone who chooses to still pursue, to still endure, regardless what happens. And as far as your question, what's your advice to someone who feels that they can't choose joy because it's all temporary? Life is temporary. Everything is temporary. Food is temporary. Everything in life is temporary. We're going to live, we're going to die. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm going to die. You're going to die. We're all going to die. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Um, but the trick to it is you have to choose that, and that's the human spirit in a nutshell. Gulag Archipelago, right? Gulag Archipelago, how you say it. The way you say it is you embrace it, you choose meaning, you choose purpose. The person who has a why can endure almost anyhow, and that's so powerful. And I've gone through a really rough couple of years, personally, mentally, relationship wise, financially, everything else, ups and downs, emotional mood swings, horrible things, rough situations the last couple of years, and horrible family lives, everything else. And thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And through it, it's taught me to love God. It's taught me to love people. It's taught me to pursue joy and to choose to live life fully and realize if you want to live your life and love your life, you must choose joy. And it's up to you. You must choose joy. And no one's gonna save you. And the thing is, if you choose to be a victim, you'll always be a victim. And when you're a victim, you attract other victims into your life. You attract people with that victim mindset into your life. You can do that, or you can decide I am a human being. I'm no better than anyone else. But damn, can I try my hardest? Can I do my best? Can I choose to thrive? Can I choose to love? Can I choose to love my life? Like guys, like again, like keep in mind, like I grew up with a mom who used to beat me every day. Like my mom used to one day she'd say I love you, the next day she would get a rose bush with the like the thorn still on it, and she would strike me. I have scars on my body from my mom used to freaking pin rose thorns into me as a child. Like freaking I'm sorry guys for that description, but that's just what happened. Rough stuff. And like my relationship with a woman is like a lot of men would do say I hate women or I'm bitter towards women. But I don't feel that way. Like I still like it's just a person who was projecting the horrible despair in her onto somebody else and chose to take it out on me. And I can choose: am I going to judge the entire human race and all these beautiful people based on what one person did to me? No, and that was hard to learn. And that's hard to learn. No, there's so much beauty. There's so much love in the world. There's so much amazing things. I'm going to choose to pursue that. I'm going to choose to be fearless, to take the risk, to live fearlessly, to love deeply, to choose to give myself over to somebody amazing in every single way, and choose to be the man I need to become. And as much of it's hurt, everything else, you have to be someone who chooses that I'm not going to lie to anyone, especially I will not lie to myself. I won't lie to other people. I will choose to do the right thing. I was someone I was abused. I was manipulated. I went through, again, like far sadly, far worse things in my childhood than things I mentioned. And maybe I'll talk about. Maybe I won't. At some point, maybe I will. But that's why I choose that. Like I'm gonna smoke my cigar. I'm gonna make my paintings. I'm going to choose to be the best human being, the best Chris I can be. I'm going to choose to just live life fully, to love fully, and I'm going to choose to become who I need to become. Yeah, no, yeah, man, and it's so easy to victim yourself. You can always be a victim. There's always somebody to blame. Life is so unfair. There, you can blame the government, you can blame your parents, you can blame your friends, you can blame the guy who cut you off in traffic. You get, and keep in mind, life is so fragile as well. Like we're so fragile as human beings. Like we can go just like that. Our heart could stop in a moment. We just don't know, and that's why you have to choose to make life beautiful, choose to have an impact, choose to just live your life fully and to love deeply. And for me personally, that's what I've chosen to do. Um, who I look up for inspiration? So many. Top of my head, as of late, Fyodor Dostoevsky, reading The Idiot, Crime and Punishment, Brothers Karamazov is so life changing to me. Cormac McCarthy, The Road, Blood Meridian, No Country for Old Men is so inspiring to me. Um, yes, I agree with you. Doing good is the foundation to a happy life, and live your life for others so you can help other people, and so you can be an example for other people. And don't be a selfish jerk and just be miserable. As that's not the best way to put it, but joy is something you have to work on, and I suffer from depression as well. So I know like I have days that are just dark and days where I just feel down for no reason, and I just have to choose to kind of cling on. As you see in the painting, right? I choose to, despite that, cling on to the storm, cling on to my joy, and just embrace it fully because it makes life beautiful. I have no choice but to thrive. no choice but to do my best because the alternative is suffering and pain. And I would never want anyone to go through what I went through for any reason. I'd hate to ever project that pain onto other people the way it was projected onto me. And so it's a conscious effort, and you have to work on it. But as far as inspiration, I find an artist like I adore Van Gogh as basic as it is. I love Van Gogh. I watched a movie about Van Gogh, To Eternity's Gate, I believe it's called, and or At Eternity's Gate, and it was just so beautiful, so amazing. I look at his art, I'm so moved by it, so touched by it. It's just so gorgeous in every way. Van Gogh, Picasso, Giacomini. His sculptures are so beautiful to me. Art, just art in general. Like for example, I keep my statue of David um, statue next to me. David standing on the Goliath head. Partly it's just like a symbol of just like strength in essence, of just like overcoming intense obstacles. Um, yeah, and also the trauma thing. Like generational trauma is incredibly real. It's incredibly difficult. Fear of philosophers. Oh man, dude. Oh man, that's hard. I've been reading a lot. I guess philosophers. Um, oh gosh, what's it called? Plato's. What's it called? Oh my goodness. I'm just blanking out, but Plato definitely won. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Favorite philosopher. Plato. I love a lot of the French philosophers. Believe it or not. Who was it who said the reason you don't kill yourself is the reason you're alive? I absolutely play. Thank you. Plato's Republic. Yes, Plato's Republic. Amazing. Um, you can spend forever on that. Um, uh, oh, excellent, man. The Don Carlo yesterday. That's excellent, my friend. Um, that's is excellent. Yeah, no. As far as writing a book, I definitely I've been working on some stuff. I definitely am. Um, hey man, I really appreciate you being on. I know you have to do homework. You take care, my friend. Clown World, that's awesome. Don Carlos, so that looks excellent. I know I've had that at some point. So I have actually, I had a brand actually that gifted me a bunch of free cigars. They're sending me a box. It's actually quite excellent. I'm looking forward to trying it. It's a brand I haven't tried before. Pridava, I believe it is. Pridava. They have a pretty epic YouTube channel as well. You may have seen it. I recommend you check it out. But he is sending me a bunch of cigars, so I cannot wait to taste them. Um, yes, yeah. So have you had a Davidoff before? So Davidoff, my experience. From my experience, Padron really good, really damn good. Padron is always excellent, and if you're gonna spend 20, 30 bucks a cigar, hard to beat that. Um, Good price point. Like a My Father Judge is really good. I like very bold, beefy cigars. Um, Judge is very good. I really love the Triple Madero Camacho. If you saw my video, I was kind of gushing over that because I just love it. But Davidoff is very good. So I had one with a friend the other day. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I wasn't as blown away as many people seem to be by Davidoff. Are United States? Is it going to be a Cuban Davidoff, or is it going to be like a? I think they're Nicaraguan. Am I totally mistaken, or Dominican? I'm not sure. I'm probably very much mistaken. But Davidoff is hard to beat, man. So a good Davidoff is pretty darn good. So it's funny. One of my friends, we went to a cigar lounge, and their humidor was just like an utter wreck, like total freaking wreck, and their cigars are dry to hell and everything else. And so my friend, who's like very picky with cigars, he got a Davidoff, and he had it, and it was really dry. To him, and so to me it was fine, like it was great. But he was gonna throw it away, and it was like this full Davidoff cigar. I was like, oh, I'll smoke it. And so we smoked a couple cigars. Oh yeah, it was actually on my birthday. It was my birthday, and so I was walking back home through downtown, getting back to the parking garage, getting back to my car. I just had this Davidoff in my mouth. And I was puffing on it, smoking on it, just smiling away, smoking my stogie. It was great. So Cameroon wrappers and Dominican fillers. I'm trying to think of some similar cigars that have that. Camacho does most of those, don't they? That's most of Camacho's cigars, right? I could be wrong, but it's mostly Camacho, if I'm not mistaken. I was trying to think of some other great brands I was wanting to try. Shoot, there's a bunch I've had that I've really loved. Also, there's some cigars I've had recently. So I was talking about, so the cigar in my profile picture I'm smoking is actually the Buffalo Trace cigar, the one that's aged in the barrels. That one was very good. It wasn't amazing, but it's pretty darn good, man. Um, yeah, yeah. Come on, I guess Camacho is, isn't it? Company Miami series and Don Pepin 20th anniversary. I've not had that yet. A good recommendation. Is that full body? Is that medium? Is that mild? As I said, I'm someone I tend to really love a full body cigar. Like I love a full body. I love a medium body cigar. I really love that, man. And so I'm looking forward to trying the new Camacho. I believe it's a box press, if I'm not mistaken. The one with the orange wrapper and the medium body. Yes, yes, that's a great cigar. The H. Upmann Vintage Cameroon, very good cigar. I actually smoked one the other day. I was like, "Dang, this is solid." I bought a sampler packet, and that was in it. And I was puffing. I was like, "This is a good cigar, man." It was at the Romeo and Julieta Reserva, the one in the orange wrapper, I believe. That was also an excellent cigar. I was very taken aback by how much I liked it. Uh, do I know Joe? Do I know Joe? Is that a joke? I don't get it, guys. I'm really tired. Like, if someone's trying to get me to join a cult, that'll be the time. Yeah, Cohiba is hard to beat, man. Cohiba. I was actually watching a documentary on Cohiba. If I'm not mistaken, the brand was started by the guy. Brand was started by the guy who used to roll your mama. It's funny. It's funny. You're funny, man. You're funny. It was made by the guy who used to roll Fidel Castro's handmade cigars. Like, how funny is that, man? How cool is that? But I was watching that. So there's a great documentary. It's called Cigars All the Rage. It's the one that the clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger saying like, "I will smoke my stogie anywhere I want to go. I'm Arnold. I'll smoke my stogie." Worst Arnold accent you ever heard. My voice is going, but whatever. And Great documentary. I think it was made in like '92 or something. It's incredibly '90s. And there's talk about cigar culture in the '90s and all the celebrities who smoke cigars and all that stuff. And cigar shops and everything and testing, and I love it. I love watching the guys roll the cigars, blend it, make them, and it's really cool to watch guys in Cuba as these guys are rolling a bazillion cigars a day and they're just puffing on cigars as they're rolling cigars all day. And so that's so cool. I just fell in love with it watching. Where I was like, dude, that's so awesome. Yes. Now I will say this. So with Fidel though, what I've heard about cigars, like 20, but he would smoke like his cigars like a pretty small ring gauge, which by the way, the small ring gauges tend to have more potent nicotine, which is interesting because my friends who used to be cigarette smokers who switched to cigars, they really love those small ring gauges. Interesting, right? Um, into Perla del Madero. I'll have to try that. What's the price point of that? Is that like a $10 cigar, 15, $20 cigar, 30? Like, what are you looking at with that one? I generally don't spend past $20 for a cigar. Otherwise, I spend enough money on them as it is. Um, Camacho has some great cigars, man. Yes. Yes, like that's probably why I love cigars so much. Is like I'm a storyteller, I'm an artsy person. I fall in love with a good story, and whenever I see cigars and the way it's passed on from family, it's like also like the documentary of the guy who makes the hand engraved rifles, like with the art or whatever. Like I adore anything like that, and yeah, Davidoff is so dang cool, man. It's so cool. And so I just find it so beautiful and just the art, the craft, everything. Oh, $10, that's not bad. The art, the craft, and so that's why it's so beautiful for me because cigars to me are like a reflection of life. Because same thing in life, we are here for a temporary existence, and we'll have our light, and then one day our light will go out, and we'll pass to whatever realm is beyond. Um, Cigars are like that. They're a craft. They're an art. They're made with love. They're made with passion. They're made with skill, and they're meant to be lit, to be enjoyed, to be savored, to make your life more beautiful, and then they're gone, and it's beautiful. That's probably why I have such a love of cigars because when I a good cigar, I feel like I'm appreciating an artist's work, and I am an artist. I'm a sucker for anything like that. And so for me, a good cigar is just it's like a metaphor for life, and it's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. So that's why I love cigars. There's many other reasons I also love cigars, but that's one of the reasons I adore cigars, and I just find them so fascinating. Yes, cigar. Yes, yeah, cigar versus cigarettes of a lot of the problems in the world. How so? How so? I have my take on what you're saying. I could be wrong. Yeah, yeah, correct, correct. So chewing tobacco is great. I don't touch tip, but chewing tobacco is great. I used to train a lot with military. So I have popped some Zins on occasion, but not really. I really don't touch nicotine. That's not true entirely. Do I have it in my thing here? Ever so often, I'll chew on Nicorette gum. It's more, yes, what you said there. Cigars about hard work, passion, and quality. I totally agree. Um, and that's what people don't get. Like cigarettes, I'm not entirely opposed. Like like if you were to have like a hand rolled cigarette here and there, it's not the worst thing in the world. But exactly that, like a cigar. That's probably why I get along with people who tend to be cigar smokers because when you meet them, there's someone that. And by the way, are you Clown World on X? Because if you are, your content is outstanding. I love watching your stuff. But besides that, and you don't have to tell me if you are or you aren't, because I don't want to intrude on your privacy. But if you are, I adore your content. You are amazing. But besides that, I agree with you fully on that comment. That when I meet someone and they're really into cigars, generally, generally, and that comment as well. One ingredient compared to a bazillion of cigarettes, which is why cigars are so much better. Besides that, when I meet someone, which I probably want chalking, I probably should light one up. But when I meet someone who's really into cigars, I generally will see I see that they are thoughtful, they're mindful, they appreciate the little things, they know how to slow down, they know how to appreciate life, people, conversation, reflection, and generally, without knowing much about them, I can at least see I have a lot in common with them, and we have a bond, a brotherhood in essence. And that's why I love this channel so much, because it's kind of my way of connecting with people and seeing that I can have a beautiful connection with people across the internet, across video, across whatever it is. And it's really about connection, right? And even a good piece of art is something that evokes emotion and something that connects with you in some way. And so a cigar to that is so beautiful. And generally, when I see someone with a cigar, I see a brother, I see a sister, I see somebody who, albeit your walks of life, your path is very different from mine, we probably have a lot in common and we probably have a bond. And that's what's beautiful. And that's why I love cigars so much. About vaping, vaping, we don't know enough about it. And it seems to be all chemicals, and so whenever I see something that's all chemicals and we don't know enough about it, I'm very cautious of it. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people vape. I've personally never vaped. I don't intend to ever vape. It's not my thing. So I am not one to judge, but for me, I'm not going to. I choose not to vape. Um, That being said, as I said, on occasion I have used Nicorette gum, like to stay awake, or just to keep myself perked up before in a pinch. That is seldom and rare. I will say, yes, yes, yeah. Oh, you're a veteran, nice man. Which branch were you? So my first black belt was a Marine colonel, and the black belt who runs my other martial arts school is a Marine infantry sergeant. And luckily, a lot of my close friends are former military or military men. Well, actually, yeah, one of them, yeah, actually, some of them are active military. But luckily, I have a lot of close friends or good friends who were special forces, Green Berets, and so I maybe I should have said that because if you know Green Berets, they all know each other, so that means they know me. So there goes my privacy, but whatever. But so I've trained a lot with military for martial arts and other training and stuff like that. And thank you for your service. Utmost respect. I veterans are some of my closest friends. Sadly, one of my good friends, who was a veteran, passed away recently, and me and my friends are still Yes, yeah. Green Berets are beasts, man. And also, 'cause let me tell you something. Green Berets are actually some of the most intelligent guys you ever met, and they're also expert communicators. And so I trained with them. I can't say all the details. I only smoke like one a day, maybe two at most, but just one a day. Normally like five a week. But yeah, 69 per day. Yeah, yeah, 69. There we go. There we go. As you smoke 69 a day. That's just magic number, 69, the internet's number. We just have to embrace it. 69 day, brother, 69. But yeah, for me personally, I will say that Green Berets, they're master communicators, everything else. I do have a story. I made a Green Beret cry once. I can't go all the details for legal reasons and other stuff, but basically, in a training, yeah, I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna tell the story. But I trained a Green Beret. He took classes with me. We'll go with that, and I made him cry. And we'll leave it there. And maybe I am going to contact someone to ask if I'm allowed to share this story. I'm not sure if I am. So I am 420 a day. That's hilarious. 420. Now we're going full internet. So I'm not going to say anything on the internet that I can't say, and I think I'll end there. But yes, I did make a Green Beret cry once, and we're actually close friends. We're actually good friends now. And funny thing enough, I made him cry, Parmesan Latigan, and then I made him a painting, and he has a painting in his house. And then also, I have a good friend who was a Blackwater, and and I also gave him a ton of my art as well, which is very exciting. And so. So you can say that a lot of my good friends are military, and I have a ton of respect for military and love what you guys do. And so I'm a martial artist for life, and so there's a bond with that and a lot of respect for that. And so we tend to have a deep love and admiration for people who have that discipline and are trained in disciplines like that. And so for me personally, military people are my favorite people. And so I always dabbled with should I join the military, should I not, and I didn't, and I don't regret it, but I have a deep admiration and love for those who did it, and so for me, I think I chose the right route, but those of you who did join the military, I think it's just a beautiful thing y'all did, and I have so much respect, and you guys are bad to the bone, badasses. I love you, and yeah, I love you all, and you also tend to be some of the most morbidly funny people I've ever met in my life. You'll tend to be hilarious, and you'll just tend to have no filter, and my kind of people, similar to me, and just my kind of friends. And yeah, the my staff at my school in Virginia were both Marines, and oh my gosh, it was, oh my gosh, guys, the stories I can't even share them. The stories I can't, yeah, I can't even share them. They were so wild. And oh yeah, yeah. When we shot fireworks off one time with my Marine friends, and somebody brought a carton of fireworks, and they got Roman candles, which you can buy in the state I'm in now. We had Roman candles, and we had the base for the Roman candles, and it tipped over, and it shot into the crate of fireworks, which caused fireworks to shoot in every direction. And so there was, there's a small child next to me, not many children besides that, but I just grabbed the kid, like turned my body, and my legs, I was smacked by a couple Roman candles that like breezed by, and um, there's, I mean, good chance I do. I appreciate it. But breezed by, I had like a burn on my leg from this Roman candle just shooting, shooting me, because it hit the giant crate. Good times. Also Tannerite. Tannerite I adore. Yeah. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, and Voice Network is that the best thing about it is that you make brothers for life. And I've been really blessed. I've kind of been able to somehow sneak my way into those communities and gain their trust. Okay, well, because of martial arts, and so I've kind of been able to get that without doing what you did. So again, thank you for your service. But you also, what I'll add to it is that the beauty of it is you live a life of adventure and you live a life of risk, and so you live life fully. And so your life as a military man is very beautiful, and there's a lot of admiration for that. Right, rice going in and out, sure. Marijuana. So concerning marijuana, just wipe my nose quick. Whatever. So concerning marijuana, um, I will say that in certain cases I'm not opposed to it, but I think in a lot of cases it's not the best call for a lot of people. I'm not opposed to marijuana per se. I'm not opposed to it. I don't use it personally. I am somebody where honestly I think it should be legalized just because I do believe in freedom and everything else, even though I am quite conservative. But with marijuana, I think that people tend to use it as a crutch in most cases, and I think people they use marijuana as an excuse for bad behavior, oftentimes. And I've seen in my family, I've seen the way it's distorted a lot of my family members personally. But I don't find anything wrong with it per se. I don't judge people who use it. I just personally I choose not to use it. But I don't have an issue with someone who uses marijuana. I don't have an issue with somebody who chooses to use marijuana. I don't judge someone who they use it. You'll see me joke like in the video, like weed is for babies, cigars are for men, stuff like that. Like the Arnold quote. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but it's just something that I choose not to do. I'm not opposed to it. Um, and I'm not opposed to it. I lived in a super super liberal town for years, and the entire town just reeked of weed 24/7. Again, I'm not opposed to it, but it's for me personally, I stick with cigars. But if you use it, like I'm not going to give you a hard time. I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to chastise. But I will say there are situations where it probably makes sense to use it, like for a recovery or PTSD stuff of that nature, and situations where where if you're just like getting high all day every day in your mom's basement, like you should probably avoid using it just because it's not helping you. However, I will say this: caffeine is also a drug. I do enjoy caffeine in moderation, and caffeine is a drug, and it is a drug. And it's a psychoactive active substance, and it's super effective. And when we use it in moderation, and like most things in life, like when used in moderation, it is fine. And we talk about like nicotine use, cigars, whatever it is. So it's probably fine in moderation. But for me personally, I've seen the way um, a lot of my family members have wrecked their lives with alcohol and with drug use and stuff like that. And I've seen it firsthand, and so I don't have the good story that goes with things like that. And also, I have a personality where, if you can tell, I'm pretty wild already. So I am cautious to go down certain routes because I know how wild I am already, and I know I don't really need additional stimuli or whatever else is in my life, which I could be wrong about, but could be wrong about, but and I'm always open to have my mind changed. If you have a better argument, I'm always, I'm not set in opinion. I'm happy to have my mind change if it's different. But yeah, I definitely struggle with my thoughts on certain drugs and things of that nature. Same thing, because like how I think about like how can I say, Ritalin or Adderall is fine for someone with severe ADHD and marijuana is not. I definitely think about those things, but also keep in mind I'm somebody I don't like taking medication as well for the most part if I can help it. Um, if it's not necessary. How's it going there, buddy? And so Nezuko, how's it going, man? And so yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm open to have my mind change. I don't know, but nah, I'm Nezuko. Nezuko, how's it going, man? What's up, brother? But yeah, guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like for me, and if you notice my marijuana talk, I really bring it to me where I know myself, and or I say I do, and I would be cautious of for me if I did anything else crazy because I know how intense I am. Like I have all my stories, and Yeah, I have way more stories. Like, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm doing wonderfully. I have way more stories. I've kind of lived a wild life in many ways, and I'm an artsy person already, and we tend to like alcohol and drugs way too much, and so I try to not partake in those, and that's why cigars are beautiful for me because cigars don't mess with my mind, and they relax me, and they're great, and everything else, and that's why. Thank you so much. I appreciate you love them, and thank you for watching my videos. It means a lot to me. But so that's why I kind of stick to cigars and everything else. And also, I'm a productivity person. So for me, I'm into productivity type stuff. And so I'm someone where I was listening to an essay about it. It was talking about like the different, like the how do you become a grown man child. It was talking about basically how either you're somebody who either you're always using your time in a productive way or you're not. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you are someone who's really type A like I am, you tend to always be using your time. Like my free time, for example, I'm having a YouTube live, right? And you use your free time actively. And when you actively use your free time, you just get more done. And so, and there's nothing wrong if you don't want to get things done. But the life I choose to live, I just want to get things done because I want to live a life that's full. I want to live a life I'm excited about. I want to live a life that I can just provide an amazing life for myself, my family, my wife, my kids, everything else, and just live my life fully and just freaking love it. And and so, to me, the thought of doing drugs, that make me want to sit back and eat cookies all day. That doesn't seem like the best for me. And I remember I tried pot once, and many years ago, and kind of was like peer pressured into it. And I just remember sitting back and eating like a massive bag of cookies, and just being like whoa, like that's, and like if you can tell, like I'm all into fitness and shape and working out and everything else. So for me, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And so I just choose not to go that route personally. But again, like I'm not opposed to anything. Like I love to hang out in San Diego, and all of San Diego smells like pot. Like whenever, at least when I go there, the entire city still smells like pot. See, pop. You're talking about soda. Pop, pop is good. I do enjoy pop on occasion. Like in the north, they say pop instead of soda. Get a pop. Give me a pop. Give me a pop. I want a cola pop. Give me a Dr. Pepper pop. Wait. Oh, there we go. It's my connection went out for a moment. It's back. Hey, what's up, brother? Sister? Elizabeth Hernandez. I'm assuming it's Elizabeth. So I'm assuming it's lady. How are you, young lady? Good to see you. Oh, that makes me happy. Congratulations, good sir. Your comment motivated me to do my 60 sit-ups and push-ups each morning. Keep doing what you do. Love you, love you, love you. I'm proud, brother. I'm proud, 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 proud. You keep it up, young man. That's awesome. Hearing that brings me so much joy. You have no freaking idea. Idea. No idea. It brings me so much joy. That's incredible. Your body's a vessel. It's meant to be used, and you keep your meat puppet working well. This machine, it will serve you well, and you live your life fully. Yeah, yeah, and I'm there. I'm libertarian as well. Like I'm so I guess I didn't phrase it well. Like I think everyone should have the right to choose for themselves everything in life for the most part. But I just choose. I don't judge people, but I don't. I'm just saying personally, I tend not partake in certain things. For example, such as vaping, right? So like vaping, I choose not to vape. I recommend you tell your friends to not vape. But I choose not to vape because I don't like the health consequences or anything else, so I don't do it. But I will still find other ways to chill, relax, and everything else. Um, this is a weird cup. Don't know why this cup is so weird. Weird, like drinking cup. But yeah, I'm pretty libertarian. I believe that freedom, personal autonomy is everything. Freedom is everything, and we should have the right to choose for ourselves. However, with the right to choose ourselves, it also means we have the right to say no to things. And so we have the right to say no to things. So we have things we can say yes to, things we can say no to, ways to live our life. We can love who we love. Well, hey, Sandrapi, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you on the live. So yeah, personal autonomy, and I respect your decisions, but also with that, you respect mine. And as long as we can function on that basis, we respect each other mutually, I think life is good, and we're having a good ride here. But yeah, so candy. What candy are you eating? What candy are you eating? Is it good candy? Is it Laffy Taffy? Is it chocolate? What makes you sad? What makes you sad? I'm not sure what makes you sad, but I'm having push-ups. Push-ups? Is push-ups a candy? Are you doing push-ups? Oh, nice, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's been an awesome live. Like it's been super poppin'. I enjoy doing lives. It's a lot of fun. Like so, I stick with YouTube because other platforms I'm kind of old soul, so YouTube makes sense to me. I grew up with it. Other platforms is not so much. I love. I also just love YouTube. I think YouTube's great. I remember the good old days watching Filthy Frank. It was amazing. I just loved it so much. But so I feel like YouTube is the best route to go. And I've always enjoyed live content. I figured, and thank you for the likes, I appreciate it. I figured with the way I talk, everything else, I would try to do some live content compared to some of my video format on occasion, and just chat, just hang out, say yo, what's up, how's it going, how's life, what's much, what's good, what's love, what cigar are you smoking, what food are you drinking, what drink is in your cup, what food is on your plate, are you enjoying yourself, are you happy, are you healthy, are you wise, are you reading, are you writing, are you embracing life fully and living it fully, and just enjoy doing it live with you guys. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I teach self defense. So TikTok actually kind of disturbs me for that reason. What you said. I'm not touching into it too much, but yeah, it's. I see that. I don't wish to partake in that. Yeah, it's. I think that's kind of gross, and also especially if you're a kid. Like I post a lot of silly content and everything, but you have to understand I'm an adult. I'm a grown adult. I'm a grown adult, and I can post stuff. But if you're a child, you don't post things just for views, particularly as a child. You don't need to. You have a developing brain. There are a lot of not good people out there, and they want you to do things for attention. That's not good because there's a lot of people who want to take advantage of you, and when you're naive, especially. And so be very cautious online. Candy, which candy? I'm assuming roll-ups, right? Because we used to eat a ton of roll-ups growing up. So many. Common sense? Yeah, common sense is good. You want to have common sense. Safety is everything. Privacy is everything. Personal autonomy is everything. Common sense is necessary, and common sense, sadly, is not very common. It's about to go dark. Common sense is not very common, and yeah, common sense is not very common, and it's a muscle sometimes, and that's probably why I post my content is hopefully so people can learn from my mistakes instead of going through it because I've done some very stupid things, and I like to talk a big game. I've done a lot of cool stuff, but I've also gone through a lot of pain due to mistakes, and hopefully, if you can learn from other people's mistakes, that's far wiser than just repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again forever, and yeah, just yeah, just making your life a mess. So that's probably why I make some of my content is just. Let's see, your door just opened. Interesting. Hopefully, open for a good reason. Or my door just opened because of me. Um, if you go to bed at 8, it's probably recommended that you go to bed then, or would be wise that you choose to go to bed. Um, would be wise. You choose to go to bed, or I hope. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's yeah. You don't need to show your face on YouTube. I do for my content. I do. I debated doing that. I thought for a while, but again, have you down to an inch? Oh my gosh, you're committed. That's awesome. Yeah, so I tend to smoke my cigars until they're literally burning my fingers. In fact, this morning I burnt my fingers from smoking my cigar. But it's, what is the price for joy? It's the price for joy, my friend. And I will burn my cigar. I will choose burning my fingers because I loved my cigar so much over unburned fingers for a bad cigar. And I kind of take pride in the fact that when a cigar is so good, I'm willing to burn my fingers on it. That's when I'm like, holy moly, this is amazing. I am gonna buy like every other one of these. Like, I can't wait. Um, yeah. So I'll say like for me, like Camacho Triple Maduro or Agnarosa Leaf's 10th anniversary Maduro were finger burners or mustache burners, as they call it. Where they set your mustache ablaze because you are smoking it all the way down, and you're just like, holy guacamole, this is awesome. This is amazing. And so, yeah, that's absolutely my type of cigar. Can little kids do cigarettes? No, no, you do not do cigarettes as a kid. No. That's very much. That's very bad. You do not touch tobacco until you're of legal age, at the earliest. Absolutely no, absolutely not. And also, it's something that, yeah, it's you have a developing mind. Don't touch stuff. Don't touch stimulants, drugs of any type, or anything else when you are a child. Um, yeah, you don't. There's certain medicines that are stimulants, like if you have bad ADHD, but don't touch that stuff on your kid because you're a kid. You have a developing brain. Yeah, it's not the time and place to do that. Yeah, cigarettes are quite unhealthy, so I recommend you do not smoke cigarettes. Um, I would maybe, for me personally, I'd maybe enjoy a hand rolled cigarette. Um, yeah, I remember you from yesterday. Yeah, I remember you. I've enjoyed a hand rolled cigarette before, but like I smoked two cigarettes in my entire life. Um, I agree. I don't suggest adults do cigarettes either. But I smoked one cigarette just to try it out, and then when I was offered one after an incredibly stressful situation, and I had one, and that's been it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate coming for a YouTuber. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. I love YouTube. I love posting YouTube. It's really exciting and cool. I've loved it. It's great. Um, so I really appreciate the compliment. I've really enjoyed my time on YouTube and the YouTube first span, whatever it is. It's been pretty beautiful and amazing. So I've definitely enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, yes, that's a painting I did right there. Painting right there. Have other art. And so I'll probably post some more of my art videos at some point. And a lot of my earlier videos are all art videos, so I will post more of that as I do. Oh man, I'm starting to fade a little bit. As I do more of this, do more YouTube, everything else. Yeah, evidently I'm still talking. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, so that yeah, that tells a lot about me, doesn't it? That tells a lot about me. I like to talk. I like to talk, and yeah, you, about unsafe things on platforms. You shouldn't see TikToks trending for their. Yeah. TikTok's interesting. Definitely. I don't. I really don't like the fact that so many kids are on it. I think there's some good things about it, but I think the negatives outweigh the positives in TikTok. Yeah, yeah, yeah. TikTok's just not my thing. Not gonna lie. Not my thing. I'm an adult. I like cigars. I like fire things. I would much rather be on YouTube where the adults are at and stick to YouTube for the most part. Will I go TikTok eventually? Like, who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? But I like my TikTok. I like talking cigars and talking to people who appreciate the fire things and everything else, and all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, I think I've been going for. We'll go a little bit longer, but we're about to hit the 2 hours and 15 minute mark. 2 hours and 50. Like this is a Chris Donner lecture right here. We've had a full Chris Donner lecture. We started with burgers, and we've gone from every topic to life and cigars and art and video games and everything in between. So it has been this has been a wild ride and quite fun. Have you enjoyed it? Let me know. Have you enjoyed it? Has this been a fun live? Would you like me to do more lives? Has this been fun? Is this enjoyable to you? Would you like me to talk about other things? Or something that we would like to have a more focus? Um, Another one. I'll do one. Yes, Andrapi. Yeah, I've been going for a minute, brother. Been going for a minute, and I've been going for a minute, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty exhausted. I've been going for a minute, and it's been a ton of fun though. I've really enjoyed this. This has been a blast. I love just kind of riffing and spieling and just chatting with folks and everything else. So I definitely will do more. I was sort of planning on doing one tonight, sort of wasn't planning on doing one tonight, and we did one. I'll probably, I think, it seems to be best to do lives about 9 p.m. Seems to be the best time to do a live. So I will probably plan on doing a live at 9 p.m. again. Um, as of now, at least. As of now. I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'm pretty tired and my workload is pretty substantial. So I'm also doing this after working like 10 hours today or whatever it was. Oh, dude, Stevers, you've been here from the beginning. Holy moly, man. You are a G, brother. You're like my favorite person. Thank you so much, man. I am so honored. I am so honored that you would spend that much time with me, man. We're like best friends now. That's amazing. That's amazing, sir. I really appreciate that. How do you get to live? I'm not sure. What do you mean? I don't know. Like, do you just get recommendations for it? Does it just pop up? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I imagine just you get the recommendation, right? But anyway, guys, love you all. Thank you so much for being on. This has been incredible. Thank you for chatting and just being here and just being here for the ride. And again, thank you for following. I've been loving the comments, everything else. I'll do another one, and I'll start posting posts of when I plan to do a live. I'll be more proactive on it. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Um, Good. Yep. Yep, man. Hey, Sender Up, you're awesome, Silski. Yep, cigar. I'll grab a cigar next time for my live. I'll make it more epic. Anyway, guys, love you all. You're incredible, immaculate, beautiful. Anyway, adios, amigo. I guess I will see you all later. Have the best in your life. Get some sleep, and bye bye. And.